Squeezing the king's hand, the little 116-year-old exclaims, "All the girls were in love with you." Her eyes sparkle. Can you picture the scene? King Charles III himself laughs and cocks his head back, flushing slightly. The complete narrative of why His Majesty showed up at a quiet care facility in Surrey on a rainy Tuesday afternoon is even more amazing than the flawless confession that melts the internet. So if you think that sentence is the greatest part, remain right here. Prior to us, let's take a closer look at Ethel, born in Shipton, Bellinger, Hampshire, on August 21st, 1909. Ethel May Caterham is a living history book. Imagine this. She came to a world when phones had cranks on the side and milkmen still rode horses. Ethel is more than just elderly now. She is the oldest person still alive on Earth, been confirmed by Guinness World Records in April 2025, following the quiet death of the previous record holder. 6 British kings, 27 prime ministers, 2 world wars, and 1 worldwide epidemic have all been experienced by this extraordinary woman. But she has simply continued. If her passport could speak, it would share stories of amazing experiences. What is her secret then? She will shrug and offer you a straightforward formula if you ask her. I don't argue. I pay attention. Additionally, I do what I similar, that's all. She also thinks that you should seize practically every chance, since you never know where it can take you. Easy, isn't it? But incredibly powerful. The majority of those who are celebrating their 116th birthday might hope for a telegram from the king, cake, or a peaceful family get-together. Not Ethel. Her response to her carer's question was, "I'd rather meet him than fuss about balloons." It was a daring, endearing request written on a form by a busy employee who most likely didn't give it much thought. But somewhere between the aviary and the washing room, that little message ended up on a private secretary's palace desk. Someone whose responsibility it is to see through even the most impractical requests. Observe that they did. In a matter of days, an incredible response was received. It would be an honor for His Majesty to visit. Following his planned commitments in Surrey, there was no spectacular ceremony, no BBC trucks, no press hype. Just a calm Tuesday in September, with the king poised to grant a genuinely extraordinary desire, and the rain rattling the windows like static. He showed there wearing a navy suit, a slightly damp umbrella, and that renownedly charming, slightly apprehensive smile, neither a sword nor a sash. Meanwhile, in her favorite cream armchair, the one with the crocheted blanket, Ethel waited calmly. She wore a sage-patterned outfit, gown, a light pink shawl and sequin shoes with a gold fur lining. A formal handshake is typically required by royal protocol. Charles, however, completely ignored it. He knelt down and carefully clasped her small hand between his two. "I'm Charles," he introduced himself as though she was unaware of his identity. The line that would instantly melt the internet was delivered by Ethel, who looked up with a schoolgirl-like naughty grin. "All the girls were in love with you, especially after the investiture." The king laughed and his cheeks turned pink. His mumble, captured on camera, was, "Yes, well, all that's left of him anyway." Perhaps the most modest thing a king or queen has ever spoken about themselves, it was a self-deprecating remark. Kate Henderson, one of Ethel's granddaughters, even attested to the fact that her grandmother shared this opinion, stating, "You mentioned Prince Charles was really attractive. He had captured the hearts of all the girls, a real prince who is now king." It was an instance of unscripted human nature. Ethel wasn't being flirtatious. Not at all. She was traveling across time. For a generation she was speaking, a link between the past and the present. She had witnessed the 20-year-old Prince of Wales bow down for the Welsh in 1969, crown. In a sitting room in Hong Kong, the television flickered as typhoon rain battered the shutters. "He's just a boy pretending to be grown," she recalled thinking. That boy is now a grandfather 56 years later. I met her as an old acquaintance who has outlived almost everyone else who was present at that ceremony, rather than as a distant regal figure. By saying all the girls, she's referring to innumerable women for a whole generation that is nearly extinct. Charles clearly understands that. For a brief moment, he is not king. He's just a man. A moment of deep shared history is conveyed on the final page of her living memory book. This visit was more than just a regal one. It was an intergenerational bond, a reciprocal recognition of a life well lived and a profoundly shared past. In reality, this was not their first encounter. A hefty envelope with the royal insignia, a substantial card, and ink that still had a slight odor when you touched it had arrived on her 115th birthday. In a personal letter, King Charles expressed his admiration for her accomplishment and his best wishes for the next year. As you might assume, the private personnel snapped pictures with the intention of secretly storing them for the royal archives. However, a single candid frame was uploaded on the internet by someone. Ethel's eyes gleaming with sheer delight, Charles mid-laughed. Though he undoubtedly received some longevity advice, Charles did not go to Ethel for it. A magnificent woman who has seen everything wanted to see him, so he arrived. There was more than flattery in the smile that licked his cheeks. It was the stunning insight that even a 100-year-old person's eyes can wink at you from history. A 10-minute unscripted conversation about being a 1960s idol achieved more for royal soft power than any well-executed, painstakingly planned royal tour could in a society that is preoccupied with speed, analytics, and controlled precision. It was real. It was completely endearing and human. The next time you find yourself worrying about wrinkles, recall Ethel Caterham, the woman who persevered through every contemporary problem by gardening, accepting life, and leading a genuine existence. Please share this with someone who needs a reminder that age is simply the amount of stories you continue to tell the world. Hit like if Charles's laughter made you smile. And believe us, we're all ears if you have your own 1969 heartthrob confession. 69 heartthrob confession.